is possible.
So, Snigdha, when you're planning to build this corpus, I'm assuming that there should be diversification, long-term as well as short-term outlook. Give us more perspective in terms of how you're planning to build this corpus that you're looking.
Yeah. Yeah, I just told you, right? I want it for 1 to 2 months. That is short term.
Okay, only for 1 to 2 months that you're building on. Okay. Jatin, let me come to you on this query. It's a overall 6 lakh of a portfolio size that we are looking at. 1 to 2 months is the period of investment. For that in mind, do you have any stock recommendations?
Yeah, so we have a couple of them. So one of them is Bharti Airtel. So if I look at the short-term charts, then this indicates a range-bound consolidation between 1800 and 1900. So despite all the correction that we are seeing in the markets, this stock has held on to its range. So whenever this up move begins, then Bharti Airtel would be one stock that would be on my radar to invest. So Bharti is one of them. If I have to pick one from the IT pack, then it would be the frontline IT company, that is TCS. So TCS on the daily charts is forming a bullish flag pattern. I'm expecting a breakout above 35.50 on the upside. So the next leg of the up move can take the stock towards 3700, 3750. So I would stick to the frontline names rather than investing in the mid and small cap space at this point of time. And the preferred picks would be Bharti and TCS.
And TCS are the picks that Jatin has. All right, and sticking with what he mentioned about IT as well, the next question is from Gautam, who's writing in from Mumbai. He's got 7,000 odd shares of Wipro, bought at 262 a piece, and wants to know whether he can hold, sell at the moment, and wants to know if this is the right stock to keep holding for the next 12 to 18 odd months. Samir, I'll come to you on this one. Wipro, of course, one aspect, the entire view on Wipro, and of course your take on the entire IT space, considering how Q4 has fared and how FY26 outlook stands.
Okay, so again, yesterday we had the same discussion on your channel where I was quite clear when I said that, I believe that the IT space has limited room on the upside when it comes to stock performance over the next 2 years. And I'll give you my reasonings why. The first is that these are companies that are growing anywhere between 4 to 8% on the top line, especially the larger players. And operating leverage to whatever extent has already played out, and now EBITDA margin increases are going to be very limited. Meaning profits may grow anywhere between 8 to 10% at best. Now, when you have companies which are growing at 8 to 10% on the profitability side, and these stocks are trading at Wipro is at a lower level, but you have TCS, Infosys, HCL Tech, all trading anywhere between 25 to 30 times earnings, it leads to a PEG of 2.5 to 3. So re-rating on the valuation upside, especially in a B2B business model, which these guys are, is very, very limited. So now you're playing purely on the growth side. And if you believe that the stock is going to grow its profit by 10% and no re-rating in valuations happening, you're talking of a maximum 10% decrease in profits. I don't think I want to invest in companies which are going to maybe give me a 10% CAGR return over 2-year period of time when I'm taking risk of equity, when I can invest in debt and earn maybe 7.5%, or even a hybrid fund of sort and earn maybe 7.5%, 8%. So 2% extra premium to take a risk for equity investments is something I don't agree with. Now, coming to Wipro in specific, Wipro is actually one of the slowest growers in the entire IT space and has been for a while. It's been kind of a laggard when you come to IT. And from that perspective, I think, growth for them has always been a challenge and will remain a challenge. So even if the sector sees a slight bit of improvement, Wipro's performance improvement is not going to be significant. And from that perspective, I think there's very limited upside. So I would personally not be looking to make any fresh investments in IT. And for Wipro, I would advise, if he doesn't have a view of being stuck in IT, take your money out from IT and find some other sectors, NBFCs, consumer discretionaries, auto sector, which we discussed, the two-wheelers, engineering and construction goods, those might be better opportunities to invest where you can make better returns over the next 3 years.
Thank you for that comprehensive view. So not so bullish on the IT sector. Well, that's the view coming in. But moving to the next caller, we have Murli calling us from Bengaluru. Hi, Murli. How can we help you on the show?
Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for taking up my query.
Please state your query.
Yeah. Our heartfelt condolences to air crash victims. I hope all of you are fine there. And my query is on Gabriel India.
Okay.
I bought 1,000 shares of 1,100 shares of Gabriel India at the rate of 633.55 after the recent results. I'm a fundamental. I want a view from the fundamental investor. I'm willing to hold for at least 15 to 1 year, 15 to 2 years, 15 months to 21 months.
Okay, 15 months to 2 years is the timeline that you're looking. Also, just want to understand, in the results that you've seen, when you like the company, what were the particular takeaways that resulted in you investing in this company?
One is it is a very old company in the field, a very established company with a low debt equity, almost nil debt, and with a good return on equity of around 20-21%. And a lot of things are lined up with the new products also in the offering. And they are doing a very slow and steady growth, and things to be, the best is yet to come. That's what my view that time.
Okay. Okay, let me take this across to Samir. Samir, what's your view on Gabriel India? Now, as Murli was just pointing out on the key reasons as to why he likes Gabriel. Do you have a similar view? What's your overall stance on this company?
So sadly, again, this is a stock that we don't have under coverage, and I don't want to comment on something we don't cover in detail.
Okay, no problem. Jatin, let me take this across to you. Jatin, what's your view on Gabriel India?
Yeah, see, overall, the trend for the stock is positive in the medium term. On the weekly charts, we can see formation of higher tops and higher bottoms. So, on the lower time frame charts, whenever the stock dips towards its 40-day moving average, the stock, resumes its uptrend. So, currently, it's trading very close to its 40-day average, which is placed around 600. So there could be a couple of percentage points of downside from current levels, but overall, we believe that this dip should be considered as a buying opportunity. On the upside, the immediate hurdle that we are seeing is around 668 to 680. So if he wants to add more, then around 600 he can consider. Otherwise, continue to hold on. From the short-term perspective, 680 is the upside target.
Okay, so hold is what we are looking for Gabriel India. Thank you, Jatin, for joining and sharing views on various of these counters. But it's time to slip into a short break. Lots more queries lined up on the other side, so do stay tuned in.
That's huge. That is a biggie. It's out of there.
गोल्ड ग्लास क्लियर ग्लास कार हो या नियर सब कुछ दिखे क्लियर.
In one go, Rapido is taking on Ola, Uber, now Swiggy, Zomato, Zepto.
अब्बा कोई soft spoken तो है.
Did you just call me soft spoken?
Yeah. No?
No, I should just record this and let my team hear it.
I think what changed the game was bringing two-wheelers into the picture. Bikes, right?
Yes. India has always been the land of two-wheelers. Why don't we leverage this existing infrastructure to create a commute?
Now you've entered a space which is all about, cash up in films. You want to get into delivery and quick commerce.
Entry into this was more a strategic move. For us, our simple motto is this: how can I ensure that this captain who's coming on my platform earn more?
You even ended up learning Korean. How do you use those skills now?
I've actually quit my job while I was on a business trip in Korea.
How did you say I quit in Korean?
Nakuman desaya.
Imports become the exception rather than the norm. And increasingly we do almost, last year for example, of the contracts that we signed of record 2,09,000 crores, 81% was awarded to the domestic industry. Our intent is to manufacture in India, preferably with design also in India.
I am so elated to be on the same screen as the Defense Secretary, and I get a chance to talk about what he said.
In certain areas, like for example, artillery guns and armored vehicles, or in some categories of missiles like the BrahMos and the Akash, we've come of age.
What Defense Secretary Sir said is 100% true, and today private industry can really increase their involvement in R&D.
I am very proud to say that we make, in our categories that we have been supplying to our defense forces, some of the best platforms in the world.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I hold CDSL for the long term?
Buy, sell or hold.
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
Do you really know the company you invest in?
Welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit, a show that gets all your stock-related queries answered. For viewers who are just tuning in, you can either call us or WhatsApp us on the numbers that are flashing on your screen right now. All right, the next question is from Surendra, who's writing in from Chennai, and he wants to make a fresh entry in HDFC Bank at current prices. He wants to know as to what should be the outlook for this. Samir, I'll come to you on this one. I know that you like banks, but do you think this is the right time to make an entry in HDFC Bank?
Yeah, so I don't think there's ever a wrong time to make an entry into HDFC Bank, for the simple reason that this is the best-in-class bank with good growth opportunities. It's capturing market share from the private sector. It's been a little slow over the last year and a half, for the simple reason of the merger, where they've had to raise their deposits kind of more aggressively and not lend as aggressively, for the simple reason that they want to kind of replace their high-cost borrowings, which they got from the erstwhile HDFC Limited. But we believe they will be back on track very soon for growth as the entire economy sees an uptick. Valuations are not as challenging. This is a bank that used to trade at 4.5 times price to book. It's trading at 2.5 times price to book right now. Well, it may have moved up to about 2.8 right now, but in the rally. But any small corrections closer to 1800 would be a great buying opportunity. Even now, it's a good time to buy. I have no problems. And yes, I am very constructive on the banking space over the long term. HDFC in the large cap private would probably be the top pick. But I sometimes like to say that it makes more sense if you want faster growth and more stock appreciation with a little higher risk to go into smaller banks, where IDFC First Bank is our top preference. We believe all the pain for them is more or less over. We believe valuations are very attractive, and the bank is set for the next round of growth over the next 3 years without requiring any further capital after the last round they've done. So if you want to buy only HDFC, it's a great time, you can buy it. But if you want to venture out in a slightly higher risk, high return kind of strategy, you can look at IDFC First Bank.
Okay, very positive on banks as the view, especially HDFC Bank. But next we have a caller joining us, and this is Geeta calling us from Karnataka. Hi Geeta, morning. How can we help you?
Good morning, ma'am. Thank you for taking my queries. I bought 20 shares of Lux Industries Limited from 1920.
Okay, and you want a long-term or a short-term view on the stock?
Short-term view.
Short-term view on the stock. Okay, Jatin, let me come to you for this. What's your view on Lux Industries currently? If you compare Geeta's price from there on, it has corrected quite a bit. So just want to understand your view on this one.
Yeah, see, recently during the month of April and May, we got a pullback towards it 40 average, which is placed around 1570, 1600. From thereafter, again, it has resumed its downtrend. Overall, the trend for the stock from a short and a medium term perspective is negative. So I believe that the investor should consider exiting even at a minor loss because currently the stock is in a downtrend. We are expecting a dip towards 1200 from a short-term perspective. So I think better off to exit the trade as of now.
That's it with regards to where Lux Industries stand. Our next question is from Ranjana, who's writing in from Bengaluru. She's holding 50 odd shares of Bajaj Finserv, bought at 2001 a piece, and wants to know a short-term view on this one. Jatin, I'll stick with you for this one. Bajaj Finserv, what are the charts indicating?
Yeah, see, in the case of Bajaj Finserv, there is a strong support around 1950, 1940, which is the 20-week average. So recently, it has been consolidating within this range of 1900 to 2050 on the upside. We believe that the overall trend is still positive and the investor can continue to hold on to his investment in Bajaj Finserv. On the upside, we are expecting 2100, 2150 from a short term perspective. I would suggest to keep a stop loss of 1850 for this investment that he has made. Continue to hold on as of now.
Okay, so that's the view that we are seeing for Bajaj Finserv. Next question is from Ishant from Rajasthan. Now, he has about 15,000 shares of Central Bank of India. It's bought it at the levels of 40.8. Now, currently, if we look at the stock price, it's at the levels of 38.24%. 24 wants to understand whether he should continue to hold this counter or sell. Jatin, your view on this?
Yeah, see, in the case of Central Bank, again, this stock did witness a bounce back from 32 to 41 or 42 odd levels. However, post that, the price action has not been encouraging. In fact, today it has dipped below its short-term support of the 20 and the 40-day average. So yes, there is a weakness from a short-term perspective, and we are expecting 32 levels to be retested that were the lows it touched in the month of May. So I believe that there's a decent downside even from current levels. Better to exit at a loss and wait on the sidelines before the trend reverses.
Okay, so that's the view with regards to where central bank stands. Our next question is from Jay, who's calling in from Pune. Jay, very good morning to you. How can we help you today?
Yeah, hi, good morning. I'm Jay here from Pune. First of all, I regularly watch this program and quite informative and helps to take call.
Thank you so much,
my question is about GICRE.
Okay.
I have 150 shares bought at 400 last September. So I would like to know, should I be holding this or exiting? Basically, the stock, trades between 400 to 500 range regularly.
Correct.
And, whenever it reaches that upper limit, again, it comes back and I haven't been able to make any good profit. So, sorry, I should be booking profit at upper ranges and entering again at the lower ranges, or how I should be dealing with this stock.
Right. So you've basically seen the charts while studying this company, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I can hold it for longer term also.
Okay.
If I can, hold it for a longer period, that is also fine with me.
All right. Okay, Jay. Then I'll take this up with Samir then. Samir, GIC is the counter. What's the view like?
So, what you rightfully said, the stock has been stuck in a range for a very long time. And one of the reasons the stock has been stuck in this range is, look, at the end of the day, the government still owns 89% of the stock. And every time it rallies, there's a fear that the OFS will come and then the sell-off happens, right? Fundamentally, nothing wrong with the earnings. We believe the reinsurance space in India is going to keep happening. Of course, they don't only reinsure from India, they reinsure from overseas as well. So we're not too perturbed when it comes to the earnings and the fundamentals of the company. It's just the OFS that is the overhead. Until that remains, you're always going to have these kind of ranges. So what he's suggesting of buying at 400 and 500 might make more sense, and Jatin could probably give more of a detailed of where the actual supports and resistances are. But yes, are you even if he holds for 2 years, is he expecting like a multi-bagger return? I'm very unlikely. I mean, it's very unlikely, I would say that. So it'd be more for trading stock at this point.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the view that we are seeing for GIC. But the next question is from Venkat from Andhra Pradesh. This is an interesting query that we are seeing. He has about 7.78 lakh shares of SCPC, and this is at an average price of 13.78. That we are looking at. Average horizon period is about 1 to 2 years. Currently facing a loss of almost 2 lakhs on this counter. This stock also is 15% of his overall portfolio. Wants to understand the long-term picture on this. Samir, let me come to you for SEPC. Now, this stock has also been under focus on the back of multiple order wins from the UAE, Middle East side as well. Can you share your outlook whether you have the stock under coverage?
So we don't have it under active coverage, but I have studied this company. And one thing I would like to say to the investors, if he's bought it before the rights issue shares have come, then he's getting the rights at $10. He can probably sell a few of his existing stocks and invest in the rights. He'll get a cost saving of 3 rupees per share. If he wants to keep his equity at the same level. Now you're right that the SEPC has been getting a lot of orders, and because of which the operations should see an uptick. The problem is this company is going through a lot of pain points and they're barely coming out of it. The equity base has become so large because of even this further rise. The equity is kind of constantly growing. For them to service that large of an equity will need huge order inflow with high operating margins, and the construction activity in general, the margins are never that great. So it's going to be a while before you see drastic turnaround. The stock has corrected from 30 to 13 all the way. So it's a huge correction. I'm not denying the fact that can it move up to 20 again? Probably can, because of liquidity, because of the kind of buoyant markets that we have. But as a fundamental analyst, I'm not able to justify a buy. Hence, we do not have coverage on the stock, but we have studied the stock. And that's why I can tell you that I am not of the opinion that you should buy, but can it give a rally up to 15, 16? It can. And at that point, I would advise you take your money off the table. There are better investments in the construction space that you can make.
Our next question then is from Satyan, who's writing in and wants to ask about PNC Infra from the next 12 to 8 months perspective. Jatin, I'll come to you on this one. What are the charts indicating for the next 1 year for PNC Infra?
See, the stock has witnessed a trend reversal after you can say a 50% correction from the highs of 560. It corrected towards 240. So that's a decent amount of correction. Now the stock has reversed its trend, and I'm expecting this upward to continue towards 360, 375 on the upside. It's currently trading at a crucial support of its 20-day average. So now this becomes a good buy on dip kind of an opportunity for PNC Infra. Having said that, keep in mind the overall market conditions and then consider to add on to his existing positions. Overall trend is positive. I'm expecting 360 to 375 from a short term to medium term perspective.
Okay, so that's with regards to where charts are concerned for PNC Infra. Our next caller, Jitendra, is calling in from Hyderabad. Jitendra, very good morning to you. I believe you have a question on Scient DLM.
Yes, madam. Good morning to all. And madam, I'm searching for multi-baggers and I'm having 1,06,000, and I have been doing my homework on these stocks to find them. Will this stock be a good bet for me for long term? And I want overall outlook, fundamentals and technical analysis. Please tell me, madam.
Sorry, can you tell me the stock name again?
CYIEND,
Scient DLM. Okay, got your question, Jitendra. I'll take this up with Samir quickly. Samir, I think we've discussed this before also, but do you think this is the right time to make an entry in Scient DLM?
So like I told you, I'm not very positive on that space overall. I think there are better opportunities, and Scient DLM as a stock we don't have under active coverage, but like I said, in the entire space there, I'm not very interested.
All right, so that's with regards to where Cyan DLM stands, and it's not something that Samir would suggest. All right, the next question though is on Titagarh, and Sivateja from Bengaluru is writing in and wants to know if he can continue to invest in this counter and make an entry right now. He's already holding 30 odd shares at 853 a piece. Jatin, I'll come to you on this one. Do you think the levels are right to make an entry in Titagarh?
868 is the level, that is the 40-day average. So I think it's just above that. So overall, yes, he can consider buying at current levels or even averaging at current levels. Overall, it's trading very close to its crucial support zone. So yes, he can consider to average. On the upside, the immediate targets that we are seeing is around 1000, 1020 on the upside, which coincides with the 40-week average. So yes, continue to hold or even average is suggested.
Okay, the next query is from, we are seeing the next query again. This is from Ashok Reddy from Andhra Pradesh. He's holding 400 shares of Tejas Networks, and this is at a price of 763. Wants to understand whether he should average it further. Currently, if you are seeing the price of the counter about 696. Samir, let me come to you. Wants to understand 1 year outlook on this share price. So what's your view?
So honestly, I think he can hold on to the stock. The stock has seen a huge correction. Valuations are a little rich even after the correction, but we believe the growth opportunity still exists for the company. Averaging, I would not suggest at this point of time because, like I said, valuations are a little bit on the expensive side. But it's quite possible that the stock could give a nice bounce when, a little bit of stability comes in the market. Of course, stability is not going to come because now, I'm not sure if you all have heard, but I'm getting news reports that some retaliation has happened from Iran's side. And if that escalates, then all bets go off the table. But at the moment, I say stay hold on.
On Tejas Networks is the view coming in from Samir. Well, now, taking a slight detour, and we've all been talking about the Air India crash in Ahmedabad since morning, and it's been a mayday for sure because of this reason. And we have the first interview with the lone miraculous survivor from the Air India crash. Let's hear in as to what he has to say.
मेरे नज़रों के सब सामने हुआ था. मेरे खुद को भी बिलीव नहीं होता कि मैं कैसे उसमें से जिंदा बाहर निकला, क्योंकि थोड़ा टाइम लेके तो मेरे को लगा था कि मैं भी मरने वाला हूँ, लेकिन जब मेरी आँख खुल के मैं देखा ना तो मुझे लगा मैं ज़िंदा हूँ. तो मैंने ट्राई किया, जब मेरी सीट थे वो मेरी बेल्ट निकाला, मैंने वो ट्राई किया जहाँ से निकल सकता वहाँ से, तो मैं निकल गया वहाँ से. मेरे नज़रों के सामने एयर होस्टल और दूसरे आंटी अंकल सभी उसमें मेस हो गए थे सभी.
अच्छा, थोड़ा सा बता पाएँ, जब जैसे ही टेक ऑफ हुई फ्लाइट क्या हुआ था और अचानक से कैसे हादसा हुआ? टेक ऑफ के बाद 1 मिनट के अंदर ही जब टेक ऑफ हुआ ना तो सडनली 5-10 सेकंड कैसे लगा जैसे स्टक हो गया वो. बाद में से मेरे को लगा कि कुछ हुआ. बाद में प्लेन में लाइट ऑन हो गई, ग्रीन और वाइट. बाद में वो पता नहीं वो प्लेन टेक ऑफ ज़्यादा करने के लिए वो रेस तो बोलते हैं क्या, रेस दिया होगा ऐसा कुछ, और सीधा स्पीड में ही घुस गया जहाँ वो क्या था वो हॉस्टल था, एक हॉस्पिटल का. हाँ, हॉस्टल में. और सब सामने सब हुआ. ये जब फ्लाइट जब क्रैश हुई उस समय हॉस्टल पे लैंड की थी, उसी समय आप बाहर निकले थे? नहीं, क्योंकि आई थिंक मेरे को जब मैं जो साइड पे था ना, वो साइड हॉस्टल पे नहीं लैंड हुई थी. हॉस्टल के जो ग्राउंड फ्लोर है ना, जैसे नीचे वहाँ लैंड हुई थी. तो मुझे दूसरे के बारे में मेरे को पता नहीं, लेकिन मैं जहाँ लैंड हुआ था ना वो नीचे की साइड थी. तो जब वहाँ थोड़ा पेस भी था प्लेन के जब बाहर, तो जब जैसे मेरा डोर टूटा ना सब, तो मैंने देखा ना जब सामने कि थोड़ा इधर पेस है, मैं ट्राई कर सकता हूँ निकलने के लिए. तो मैंने ट्राई किया निकलने के लिए, तो फिर मैं निकल गया उधर, क्योंकि अपोजिट साइड पे थे ना वो बिल्डिंग का वो था ना दीवार, तो उधर से कोई शायद नहीं निकल सका होगा, क्योंकि उधर पूरा उधर ही क्रैश हुआ था. मैं जो जहाँ था वहाँ ही थोड़ा पेस था. फिर भी मेरे पता नहीं मैं कैसे बचा हूँ, क्योंकि मेरे नज़र के सामने ही सब 2 एयर होस्टल वो अंकल आंटी सब उधर ही सब. आप पैदल चल के आए वहाँ से निकल के? हाँ. और थोड़ा जब आग लगी ना मेरा लेफ्ट हैंड भी जल गया थोड़ा. फिर एम्बुलेंस मेरे को उठा लेके इधर आया हॉस्पिटल में.
All right, so as you heard and saw, that's the last survivor, Anushi, of that entire flight crash. And I mean, I cannot even imagine as to what would be going on in his mind right now. The visuals that he's seeing.
It's a big tragedy that we are seeing. 242 people and only one survivor from there. It's just weird how lives work.
I know, exactly. And this is God's grace that has saved him, and hopefully he shall recover, both mentally and physically from this entire tragedy. All right, again, moving back to Ask Profit, our next question is from Dr. Sunil Kumar. BK is holding around 1,160 shares of Ujjivan Small Finance Bank at 28 and wants to increase the number of shares to average out for a longer term perspective. Samir, I'll come to you on this one. Do you think that's the right thing to do?
So Ujjivan is also a good bank. At the end of the day, they have applied now for their the comprehensive banking license, and once they get that, I think obviously they will be able to scale that business up and grow quite well, because we think the opportunity in the banking space is quite good. But if there's no specific reason to only add Ujjivan, barring him averaging, I think there are other stocks which could probably give him more upside in the quicker, maybe in the next 2 years, than probably Ujjivan could. You can look at Industrial, you can look at an IDFC First Bank, you can look at an RBL Bank. You can look at some PSUs like the Canara Bank, which have corrected a bit today, Bank of Baroda, which have corrected today. So I think there are other banks, not specifically that you should only buy Ujjivan. It's of course not our top pick. Valuations, again, not challenging there, but they focus a lot on the lower segment, the microfinance and the micro housing and all of that segment, where NPAs have been relatively higher, and because of which the provisions have been increased over the last year, because of which profitabilities have come down from, I think, almost 1,200 to about 700 crores or something around those levels. I don't remember the numbers exactly, but they've come down quite a bit. And that probably could remain for one more year. So there are other banking spaces, but even Ujjivan over a 3-year period, I'm sure it'll be decent returns.
Okay, so that's the view that we are seeing for Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. But next we have a caller joining us, and this is Shankar calling us from Bengaluru. Hi Shankar, morning. How can we help you today?
Good morning, madam. I'm happy that you are taking all sorts of helping investors in an excellent manner. I really like it. And today I have one query on Schneider Electric Infrastructure. I'm holding 30 shares at 716. Today some correction is there. But considering the last 3-4 years performance of the company, I have invested now. So is it right time to, or we have to wait for the quarterly results and then proceed ahead? I'm a long-term investor.
Okay, Shankar, first of all, thank you for the compliments. Just want to understand your overall perspective on the stock. Whether you're waiting for the long-term approach, whether you're seeing for more 1 year or so. What's your position? You want to continue to hold this?
Long-term investor only, madam.
Okay, long-term. Samir, let me come to you for this one. Schneider Electric is the counter which is in focus. Wants to understand the overall picture and what's going on. He's also waiting for the results for more clarity. What's your stance on this company?
Sadly, today I've had a few companies ask me where I don't have coverage. So Schneider, unfortunately, is also one of them. So let Jatin please take this one.
Okay, Jatin, let me come to you then for this one. What's your view on Schneider Electric?
Yeah, see, overall, if I see the medium-term charts, it's forming a bullish flag pattern on the weekly, monthly chart. So now, if the investor has a long-term holding period horizon, I would suggest to, add on to the positions at crucial supports. Now, the levels of crucial supports are 688 to 647, which coincide with the 20 and the 40 week moving averages. So I think during this period of consolidation or during this period of volatility, if there is an opportunity to buy at these levels, that is 688 to 647, then you should consider to buy or add more. And overall, the structure is still positive, and we are expecting a move towards the all-time high of 900, 950 from a 1 to 2 year kind of a perspective. So continue to hold and add at 688 to 647.
Need to hold and add at lower levels is the view coming on Schneider Electrics. All right. Next question is from Pandu, who is writing in from Hyderabad. And this is a very interesting question because he is investing a hefty amount, that is 8 lakh rupees in Reliance Industries. He's saying he wants to do that and wants to know if this is a right time to make an entry for the next 1 odd year. Samir, I'm sure you have an answer on this one.
So if it's all your money in Reliance Industries, I'll say you got to diversify. But if you have other investments and Reliance is something you want to add on to, I think Reliance is a great investment from a longer term perspective. Okay, I'll give you three reasons why I'm very bullish. First, the Jio launch, the IPO. So the telecom IPO. I think there will be value unlocking that comes through that, which will automatically drive the stock a little bit higher. Two, we believe the retail space is something that is not fully captured and understood. That is your B2C direct consumer goods business, because it's all under one large basket. And, they've got so much, so many brands, so much space that they have occupied. They're the largest, right? So once you see the consumption story in India picking up, Reliance obviously will be one of the big benefactors that come from this growth in the discretionary spend that will happen. And there will be a actual value re-rating or value look at for the retail part of the business. The third is they've talked about the new energy ventures, the clean energy ventures, which they've barely made a scratch in at this point of time. We believe that they will start placing out their orders for their solar parks soon. And that by itself will lead to increase in profitability, and over a period of time, of course, because they have the panel manufacturing in place. They also have their Sterling and Wilson Solar, which will set up their solar parks. And then, of course, once the solar starts, the energy generated and the profitability will come through from that side as well. Plus, they want to get into the hydrogen space. Of course, hydrogen is still very early days. But once they have the green solar in place, then setting up the hydrogen manufacturing electrolysis plants is not so difficult for them. And they will be able to push that quite aggressively. And if hydrogen as an alternative fuel sees the light of day, which we believe eventually will have to when it comes to public transportation and logistics, and because electric may not be the easiest thing for trucks and buses covering long distances, hydrogen could be that play. They already have a good distribution network through their petrol stations where they could obviously start selling the hydrogen. So it's a long-term story, but we believe all of this will take time. If you have a 3 to 5 year view, I think Reliance is a great investment. There will be value unlockings and re-ratings that keep happening. And of course, their cash flows are quite good. So we believe there's no harm in investing 8 lakhs. If you have other investments, if it's only the investment that you want to make in the market, I say no, please diversify.
I knew this is the right question to ask you, Samir. With that, we're completely out of time with this edition of Ask Profit. Jatin, Samir, thank you so much for joining us and giving us all those insights on Ask Profit. All right, viewers, like I mentioned, we're completely out of time on this edition of Ask Profit. We'll all see you on Monday again with all your queries. But till then, stay tuned to NDTV Profit, because know your company is right on the other side of the break.
गोल्ड प्लस ऑप्टिमिस्टिक रिफ्लेक्टिव ग्लास लगाओ, धूप की गर्मी को दूर भगाओ और बिजली का बिल भी बचाओ।
In one go, Rapido is taking on Ola, Uber, now Swiggy, Zomato, Zepto.
अब कोई सॉफ्ट स्पोकन तो है।
Did you just call me soft spoken?
Yeah. No?
No, I should just record this and let my team hear it.
I think what changed the game was bringing two-wheelers into the picture. Bikes, right?
Yes. India has always been the land of two-wheelers. Why don't we leverage this existing infrastructure to create a commute?
Now you've entered a space which is all about, cash up in films. You want to get into delivery and quick commerce.
Entry into this was more a strategic move. For us, our simple motto is this: how can I ensure that this captain who's coming on my platform earn more?
You even ended up learning Korean. How do you use those skills now?
I've actually quit my job while I was on a business trip in Korea.
How did you say I quit in Korean?
Nakuman desaya.
Imports become the exception rather than the norm, and increasingly we do almost last year, for example, of the contracts that we signed of record 2,09,000 crores, 81% was awarded to the domestic industry. Our intent is to manufacture in India, preferably with design also in India.
I am so elated to be on the same screen as the Defense Secretary, and I get a chance to talk about what he said.
In certain areas, like for example, artillery guns and armored vehicles, or in some categories of missiles like the BrahMos and the Akash, we've come of age.
What Defense Secretary Sir said is 100% true, and today private industry can really